Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. Forgiveness. It's a thing we all want. It's the thing we sometimes struggle to give. This week, and perhaps some other weeks in the near future, we're going to be exploring forgiveness together, and I'm going to use the wonderful book entitled Forgive and Forget by Lewis Smedes. I do strongly recommend this book to you, and much of the material this week will be coming from this book as we explore forgiveness together. Today, I'll begin where he begins his book, with a fable called The Magic Eyes. In the village of Faken, in the innermost Friesland, there lived a long, thin baker named Falk, a righteous man with a long, thin chin and a long, thin nose. Falk was so upright that he seemed to spray righteousness from his thin lips over everyone who came near him, so the people of Faken preferred to stay away. Falk's wife, Hilda, was short and round. Her arms were round, her bosom was round, her rump was round. Hilda did not keep people at bay with righteousness. Her soft roundness seemed to invite them instead to come close to her in order to share the warm cheer of her open heart. Hilda respected her righteous husband, and loved him too as much as he allowed her. But her heart ached for something more from him than his worthy righteousness. And there, in the bed of her need, lay the seed of sadness. One morning, having worked since dawn to knead his dough for the ovens, Falk came home and found a stranger in his bedroom lying on Hilda's round bosom. Hilda's adultery soon became the talk of the tavern and the scandal of the Faken congregation. Everyone assumed that Falk would cast Hilda out of his house, so righteous was he. But he surprised everyone by keeping Hilda as his wife, saying he forgave her as the good book said he should. In his heart of hearts, however, Falk could not forgive Hilda for bringing shame to his name. Whenever he thought about her, his feelings toward her were angry and hard. He despised her as if she were a common whore. When it came right down to it, he hated her for betraying him after he had been so good and so faithful a husband to her. He only pretended to forgive Hilda so that he could punish her with his righteous mercy. But Falk's fakery did not sit well in heaven. So each time that Falk would feel his secret hate toward Hilda, an angel came to him and dropped a small pebble, hardly the size of a shirt button, into Falk's heart. Each time a pebble dropped, Falk would feel a stab of pain, like the pain he felt the moment he came on Hilda, feeding her hungry heart from a stranger's larder. Thus he hated her the more. His hate brought him pain, and his pain made him hate. The pebbles multiplied, and Falk's heart grew very heavy with the weight of them, so heavy that the top half of his body bent forward so far that he had to strain his neck upward in order to see straight ahead. Weary with hurt, Falk began to wish he were dead. The angel who dropped the pebbles into his heart came to Falk one night and told him how he could be healed of his hurt. There was one remedy, he said, only one, for the hurt of a wounded heart. Falk would need the miracle of the magic eyes. He would need eyes that could look back to the beginning of his hurt and see his Hilda not as a wife who betrayed him, but as a weak woman who needed him. Only a new way of looking at things through the magic eyes could heal the hurt flowing from the wounds of yesterday. Falk protested. "Nothing can change the past," he said. "Hilda is guilty. a fact that not even an angel can change. Yes, poor hurting man, you are right, the angel said. You cannot change the past. You can only heal the hurt that comes to you from the past. And you can heal it only with the vision of the magic eyes. And how can I get your magic eyes? Pouted Falk. Only ask, desiring as you ask, and they will be given you. And each time you see Hilda through your new eyes, one pebble will be lifted from your aching heart. Falk could not ask all at once, for he had grown to love his hatred. But the pain of his heart finally drove him to want and to ask for the magic eyes that the angel had promised. So he asked, and the angel gave. Soon Hilda began to change in front of Falk's eyes, wonderfully and mysteriously. He began to see her as a needy woman who loved him, instead of a wicked woman who betrayed him. The angel kept his promise. He lifted the pebbles from Falk's heart one by one, though it took a long time to take them all away. Falk gradually felt his heart grow lighter. He began to walk straight again, and somehow his nose and his chin seemed less thin and sharp than before. He invited Hilda to come into his heart again, and she came, and together they began again a journey into their second season of humble joy. So, that story is our introduction to forgiveness this week. And the story comes along with some questions for you to consider. Who suffers most in this story? Are there some things that are unforgivable? Why or why not? What do you think of magic eyes as the key to forgiveness? Is that how forgiveness works? What do you think Jesus would say about this story? Those are difficult questions with aspects and implications that we might struggle with. Forgiveness is difficult, and we will look at how forgiveness happens through the rest of the week. Now perhaps we should remember the petition about forgiveness in the Lord's Prayer. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us, we pray. But you see, it doesn't mean, Lord, forgive us like we forgive others. No, we don't want that. Rather, it means forgive us, so that having received your grace and love, we are empowered to forgive others, living out grace and love together. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.